looking at your work history, I've noticed that you've pioneered a number of different product lines through this common lens of happiness and friendliness and this simplicity. So I wanted to see how you kind of took that and made that the basis of your product line.
Wow.
It's kind of tough.
Good question. So it's maybe less about simplicity and more about thoughtfulness for me. So things appear kind of simple, but it's really hard to do simple. You have to put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah.
And if you do that right, you end up with something that seems simple, but actually is thoughtful. So people talk a lot about design, and they think of it as form and shape and color and texture and things that you could see or feel. But to me, good design, innovative design is really about being thoughtful. And if you spend a lot of time thinking about it and you make something that feels right and makes people feel something, generally a good thing, it sometimes just seems like it was simple.
Yeah.
And it looks simple, but it's hard to get there. Think of like the Google interface, right? That UX looks pretty simple. It's just a box and you type stuff in, but what's going on behind the scenes is probably anything but simple.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. I'm going to actually continue on that, and I'm going to, one of the descriptions on the TomTom website of your different brands is that you are like pioneering these disruptive and emotionally charged brands, and that was one of the main descriptions of you online. And I wanted to see if you would explain how those products that you create are disruptive to the mainstream marketing, or how you find them emotionally charging and how you appeal to your customers' emotions.
So, emotionally charged, yes. I'm an entrepreneur. You gotta be passionate, you gotta be emotionally charged. But what I would say about disruption is that for me, it's less about trying to be disruptive, it's about being thoughtfully, hopefully bringing delight to something. And I think if you delight enough and the right way, and you're thoughtful about it, and you're authentic about it and passionate, it ends up being disruptive. So I don't think you start off and you go, I want to be disruptive, because I think then you're like a blip. It's kind of like you're a pain in the ass for somebody, and that's really just that, right? You just have a little moment.
Yeah.
You were disruptive. We want to be meaningful, not disruptive. We want to make things that people can fall in love with, and if we do that right, and it ends up being disruptive, that's great. But the point is to be delightful, not disruptive. And again, if you do it right, it ends up disrupting, I guess.
Absolutely. And how have you use that emotional appeal to reach those audiences? Like, what methods do you use to really tap into that emotional side of your audience?
I think it depends on when and how people are interacting with us as a company and us as a brand that happens to make a product. So if they're interested in talking with us as a company, you can Skype with me from our website, and it's really me, and I really pick up. And in fact, I had a great call this morning with an entrepreneur who has a natural skincare line who pinged me this morning. And I was like, I gotta go, I have this amazing thing, the TomTom Founders Fest. I gotta go talk, but we had this great talk. And I think people just get into the fact that there's real people behind the company. And I like to say we make personal care, but if you're not really in it and you're not really approachable, then it's more like impersonal care.
Absolutely.
So that seems to be a really good thing. And so that's about the company and how we behave as people. And then there's the product. Like, what does it look like? What does it make you feel when you touch it? What does the paper selection tell you? What does the copy tell you? It says on the front of this, no artificial sweeteners, no dyes, no SLS, no brainer. Like, it's like a person talking to you. In this case, it's like, I wrote this copy, so it's me talking to you. And I think people interact with this stuff, and they get a wink, right? Hello, tiger. What does it feel like in your hand?
Yeah.
It doesn't get squishy.
Yeah.
Like, that's intentional. It's kind of cool. Ingredients, it's every single ingredient, it tells you what it does.
Cool.
Like, nobody, for some reason, did that.
Yeah.
I don't really know why, but they didn't. So, things like that end up doing a lot of the work for you.
Yeah.
They tell a story, they tell somebody, wow, like, I didn't know that, vegetable glycerin is in here because it soothes and moisturizes. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So there's a level of transparency. Hopefully that builds a level of trust. You can call us, you can Skype with me, you can really Skype with me. I give my phone number out all the time, 917-392-1000. I'm a happily married guy. It's not for that. It's just to talk about brands and talk about things that can make you happier. And believe it or not, oral health is directly tied to whole body health. So we're serious about being friendly, right? We're seriously friendly, and we're serious about making products that are as natural as we can make them, and interacting with people in a different way, because life is short, right? And people write their narrative through their stuff, and we want to give them better stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. You got to just keep talking and listening, probably listening more than you talk.
Yeah. To close things up, so I adore EOS lip balm. This is our premise. I know I'm bringing this back up, but I carry some with me almost all the time, and I wanted to decide how you chose to enter that market, particularly when so many customers interact with it on a habitual basis. So like, what gave you a leg up when you were competing with Burt's Bees or Chapstick or one of the other main brands that so many people just keep going back to?
Well, full disclosure, you know, I'm all hello all the time, and I was a co-founder of EOS, so I'm out of the EOS business, but the thought that I had was, first of all, when everyone tells you it's a mature category and there are big players in it, you can't do it, to me, that's the perfect time to go for it.
Yeah.
Because they're incumbents and they're kind of sitting there doing their thing. They're not really spurred to change a whole lot. So what got me going was the fact that people call lip balm chapstick. They call the whole category by a brand. I'm like, that's pretty awesome. That means, you know, you can sort of go. So the idea was to make something really as natural, again, as we could. It's certified organic, which is pretty amazing. The average woman, I think, eats about 5 pounds of lip product in her life. There's a lot of petrochemicals and other products and things. There are a lot of other natural lip balms. I'm not saying anything bad about anyone else's products. It's just, couldn't we make something that was a little more interesting? And I'm crazy about design, so making a shape that felt good when you were playing around with it, a shape you could reach into your very busy purse or knapsack and find, right? Because today a woman's purse is her overnight bag, her gym bag, her computer bag, her diaper bag, her, you know, it's insane. And there's a lot going on in there. So to make something that you could just stick your hand in and find, just by touch, was important, but making something that was such a pure shape that it didn't need to be adorned with anything. I thought that was really important, and making it so it felt good, right? It just feels good when you play with it. I'm big on haptic response, what things feel like when you touch them. So, you know, this is our Hello, this is a breath spray, which we designed with BMW, which is pretty cool. And you click it, and it unlocks, because I thought, you know, it'd be kind of cool to like make a sound. Like, what is that, you know, that little click.
Intentional with everything.
Yeah, and there's a little grippy point, and it says hello on it. So just simple, but there's nothing else on here. Because you just hopefully know what it is, you know how it works. You could be, you know, from another planet and land and kind of figure it out. And that's what we try to do. Like, you know, breath spray was about, I did something wrong, I ate something I shouldn't have, I'm embarrassed, gonna cover it up. But what if we made something that you could actually display, keep out in the open, share, have some fun with?
Yeah.
And it just changes things. So anyway, you know, EOS, the idea is, again, make it beautiful, make it natural, make it findable, make it pretty enough that you could display it. And yeah, I'm obsessed with that kind of stuff.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.